Hi everybody, this is Alchemist 2 and I'm back again with another movie review. This time I'm reviewing the movie called The Third Wish. And this movie stars Betty White, and as far as I'm concerned, she's probably the only redeemable actress in this movie because the film is kind of mediocre and it's predictable. The main actress can't ride a bike to save her life. She has this really forced laugh and it doesn't convince you at all. But beyond that, and hopefully I don't sound gay here, but she has a very good looking tuchus. There, I said it. Just get that out of the way. But anyway, the story itself is taken out of Dickens' Great Expectations. It's sort of loosely based on that. And one day, the main character Maggie, redhead, who works in a bookstore with Betty White's character, whom I can't remember, she rubs a lamp and she says, I wish for something to happen. And then there's a gentleman that comes into the store who found a copy of Great Expectations, and of course he's British. Yeah, why not? And she didn't even know that the bookstore had a copy of Great Expectations. So he leaves it there, and there is an invitation in it for her to go to a magic show. And then there's an invitation in there for her to fly. And we learn through a series of different events that Maggie was orphaned when she was very young, and she learns after meeting Brandon, this man who's supposed to come from her benefactor, who has was vowed to meet every one of her desires. She is still looking for her father, even though she's not really sure what happened to her father. He just up and left, and she doesn't really remember that much about him. But it's actually a very touching romantic story, even if it is a second-rate film. I even cried. I was surprised that I cried. But it did touch my heart, and I did like the camaraderie between the two characters, the Yank versus the Brit, and then the Yank and the Brit falling for each other, and that's basically the movie in a nutshell if you look at it. But as far as films go, I would give it at least 2 stars. I mean, it's not good, it's not bad, it's just it's in the middle, and it's a cute story. It has all the makings of a great film, but there's too much method acting going on to make it really worthwhile. And the only factor that makes it watchable is Betty White herself, and the guy who plays Brandon isn't so bad either. He's pretty hot, you know. If he had entered into my life, I would have locked him away. Just throw him in my room and never let him come out. No, I'm just kidding. That sounds terrible. I would never do that. But no, I'm not a sadomasochist. No. But anyway, it's a very endearing film, and it touched me, and there were some things in it that were very cliche. They took a lot of things from other movies from the 80s that if you'd grown up in that era, you would have understood the homage that Brandon was playing with those. And despite that, it's a fair film. It's not one of the best movies I've seen, not one of the worst, but average. I'd give it at least 1 thumb. I mean, it deserves a thumb. It's passable and it's watchable. Some of the lines are cringeworthy and just extremely hokey as far as romantic comedies are concerned. And you would think I would love something like this because you've got an American girl falling for a foreign guy, and I like that. And I know I think romance can happen across the seas, even though it's difficult and long distance relationships are challenging. I can tell you that from experience, but um, I just think that it expresses that magic is still alive and well in the world, and that everything is just absolutely magical when you're in love. It truly is. I know that sounds cliched, but it really is, if it's innocent and just pure, unbridled love. And there's nothing that, and every poet has searched for this, and it's so elusive, but I think that there are a few people that can actually enjoy this, and when you find it, it's something that you never want to lose. And I think that's what the movie illustrates, and it also is a reunion story, and I won't say what happens, but if you like Betty White, then it's yeah, it's okay. Let me just put it that way. It's all right. It's good, but not great. And it's enjoyable. It's a lovely story, and it's a really magnificent love story, and I enjoy a good love story just because I want something like that in my life too, and I feel it will happen soon. I've waited this long, so whoever you are, you know you're out there, and I'm waiting for you. One person, just one. That's all I ask. Somebody who can be patient with me, somebody who is not intimidated by intelligence, someone who enjoys a stimulating conversation. Humor is a must. You don't have to be a model, and beefcakes, it's really quite transitory and transient in this life, and I never was much for guys who are enamored of themselves. And I actually had an ex-boyfriend who was a bodybuilder, and that was a huge mistake, biggest mistake I ever made, and he was in Italy, and it didn't work out. But anyway, we're still friends, which is all that matters. You can still walk away from that being friends, and this movie is all about how a romance can work, and how it's and how just tremendous love really is, because Maggie, she didn't believe in love at all. She kept saying love schmove, and she learned at the end that love truly is just an incredible emotion, and I think everybody should experience this emotion, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, whatever race, creed, doesn't matter. Everybody should at least experience love in some shape or form. Doesn't matter if it's romantic or just platonic. Love makes the world go around, as far as I'm concerned. Of course, I'm a romantic, so I can say that, but The Third Wish is it's a passable film. It's what I would call meh. It's alright, but I wouldn't really give it that much credence to be a great, memorable movie, because it's really not. But other than that hot Brit, then makes my blood boil, but other than that, it's okay.